Turkey 1923, From Empire to Republic. This is Freedom Files, the untold story of how nations broke their chains. For more than 6 centuries, the Ottoman Empire stood as one of the world's greatest powers. From the gates of Vienna to the deserts of Arabia, the empire ruled over dozens of peoples, languages, and religions. Sultans governed from Istanbul, caliphs commanded loyalty across the Muslim world, and Ottoman armies once terrified Europe. But by the late 1800s, the empire was weakening. Corruption spread through its institutions. European powers interfered constantly in its affairs. Nationalist movements began tearing away its territories. Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, and others had already broken free. By the time the First World War arrived, the Ottoman Empire was called the sick man of Europe. And when the empire chose the wrong side in the war, its fate was sealed. In 1918, the Ottoman Empire was defeated. Foreign troops entered Istanbul. British, French, Italian, and Greek forces occupied large parts of Anatolia. The victors drafted plans to carve Ottoman lands into foreign-controlled zones. The Treaty of Sèvres in 1920 aimed to erase Turkey itself from the map. It was not just a political defeat. It was a civilizational humiliation, but in Anatolia, resistance was growing. A former Ottoman officer named Mustafa Kemal refused to accept surrender as destiny. He rejected the authority of the Sultan, who cooperated with the occupiers, and began organizing a nationalist resistance movement. Not in the name of empire, not in the name of religion, but in the name of the Turkish people. Between 1919 and 1922, Turkish nationalist forces fought what became known as the Turkish War of Independence. They fought Greek armies advancing from the west. They resisted French and Italian occupation in the south. They defended the east from Armenian forces. They pushed back foreign control village by village. It was a brutal war. Cities were burned. Populations were displaced. Thousands died, but slowly the nationalists prevailed. By 1922, foreign armies withdrew. The empire had fallen. The Sultanate was abolished. 600 years of imperial rule ended not with a coronation, but with a vote. On October 29, 1923, the Republic of Turkey was proclaimed. Mustafa Kemal became its first president and was later given the name Atatürk, meaning Father of the Turks. But independence was only the first step. Atatürk believed that for Turkey to survive in the modern world, it had to transform completely. He abolished the caliphate. He separated religion from the state. He replaced Islamic courts with secular law. He changed the alphabet from Arabic to Latin. He expanded education, women's rights, and scientific learning. Turkey did not simply escape empire. It reinvented itself. Some reforms inspired hope. Others caused pain, but all were driven by one purpose: to ensure that Turkey would never again be weak, divided, or ruled by outsiders. Turkey's story is not just about freedom from occupation. It is about the courage to abandon an old identity in order to survive as a new one. It is the story of a people who watched their world collapse and chose to build another. Moral empires can fall. Nations can rise. Turkey teaches us that when the old world collapses, the future belongs to those brave enough to imagine something new.